Moving on, the Australian ambassador of Israel had an honorary lunch today for the head of the Israeli medical institution that was one of the first to treat wounded Syrians who crossed into Israel.
Please join me once more in just thanking Dr. Emben.
Australian Ambassador Dave Sharma is in the early stages of his service in Israel and figured there was more to Israel and the Middle East than what he saw in the headlines. He and his wife came across the story of Dr. Oscar Mbon, director of the Ziv Medical Center in the northern city of Safed, who is giving medical care to scores of injured Syrians that crossed Israel's northern border to escape the carnage. Sharma's visit to the hospital was the first official visit of an international representative to Syrians hospitalized in Israel.
These patients were coming across the border, brought across by the IDF. The hospital doctors didn't ask them any questions. They didn't say, what side are you fighting for in Syria? They're obviously Arabs coming from Syria. The doctors were completely blind to any of this and just saw them as patients and children and victims and families and parents.
Touched by the dedicated and compassionate professionals at the hospital, the ambassador's wife, Ms. Rachel Lord, decided her and her husband needed to cast light on the noble service the hospital provides.
These people were being treated just as anyone else would have that was in that hospital. So they had access to, top medical care, to experts, to incredibly advanced treatment. The kids were going to school, which I'm sure they hadn't done in Syria for such a long time. A clown would come and visit them. I mean, things like this, it was just amazing.
Since early 2013, the Ziv Medical Center has treated over 144 Syrians, with 5% of the total patients treated at the hospital being Syrian. Many more cross the border on a daily basis, and the staff do what they can to provide the top-notch care needed as a result of the ongoing conflict within Syria.
One of our patients, a woman, told us that she had the opportunity to go either to Jordan or to Israel, and she knows that in Israel the healthcare system is better or in a better quality, so they already knows that they are coming, they seek to come to Israel.
Ambassadors from all corners of the world came to honor this strong act of humanitarianism, brought canned goods and donations to help provide the hospital ongoing quality care for the Syrians being treated, and heard stories of hope within the bleakness of the ongoing Syrian crisis.
It showed that we, even different religions, different race, but we can do something good together.
As a mother, it's heartbreaking to watch what's going on in Syria. It's really heartwarming to learn what the doctors at Ziv Hospital are doing to treat patients from Syria.
Of course, that was a report from our i24 News correspondent, Danny Swibel.